Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to uncover some hidden gems?
Always am.
All right, so today we're looking at simplified fitness and nutrition.
Okay.
You might know them as SFN, and
Right.
we want to see
Right.
if they actually deliver on their promise of making fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, simple.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of testimonials from people who've tried it out,
Right.
plus some marketing material straight from their website.
Okay.
We've even got some contrasting content from a fitness influencer
Oh, interesting.
known as Trainer Winnie to compare and contrast with.
Okay, cool.
So could this be the answer to finally
All right.
achieving those health goals without feeling totally overwhelmed?
Sure.
Let's unpack it together.
I think what's really interesting here is that SFN offers these live online fitness classes,
Right.
mostly yoga for different goals,
Yeah.
but their actual website is a little light on specifics.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
They have this big tagline on their homepage. We offer only what we master.
Oh, wow.
Pretty bold, huh?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what they consider themselves masters of.
Right. Like, you'd think if they were so confident
Yeah.
in their expertise,
Mhm.
they might be a little more upfront about,
Yeah.
things like their program structure or
Doctor,
their
yeah.
trainer's qualifications.
Right.
Definitely something to think about, especially if you're considering
Yeah.
that Euro 9 trial they advertise.
Right. Like maybe a little healthy skepticism is a good
Yeah,
idea here.
Sure.
But on the other hand, we do have these user testimonials singing their praises.
Yeah.
Perhaps those can fill in some of the gaps.
Right.
What are people saying about their experiences with SFN?
Well, across the 5 testimonials we have,
Okay.
the overall feedback seems pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
People are reporting things like weight loss,
Okay.
feeling more flexible,
Mm.
and even some relief from knee pain and sciatica.
And there's that one testimonial from Ankita. That really stuck with me.
Yeah.
She talks about regaining her menstrual cycle after 3 months.
Right.
If that's truly a result of joining SFN,
Oh, wow.
that's pretty impactful.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
These stories are definitely compelling,
Right.
but they also tend to be a little
Yeah.
vague on the details,
Right,
like
right.
how much weight loss are we talking about?
Mhm.
What kind of knee pain were these people experiencing?
Okay.
The testimonials are very emotionally engaging,
Right.
but when you look closer,
Yeah.
they don't really give us a lot of concrete data to back up the claims.
So it's like we're getting a taste of what's possible,
Mm-hmm.
but not really the full recipe.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about how we evaluate information,
Mm-hmm.
especially online.
Right.
Testimonials can be powerful because they connect with us on an emotional level.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember
Right.
they're just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay. So it's clear we need to be careful about reading too much into testimonials. Yeah, definitely.
But maybe looking at a different approach to fitness altogether will help us put things into perspective.
Sure.
We have this YouTube video from Trainer Winnie about simplifying nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And his approach is completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
He focuses heavily on protein intake
Okay.
and creating meal plans specifically designed for muscle gain.
Right.
He even walks you through the steps
Wow.
of calculating your daily protein needs
No.
and provides a sample meal plan with very precise portions.
So it's almost like he's handing you a blueprint for your diet.
Yeah.
It seems very structured and detailed
Mm-hmm.
compared to the SFN approach.
Absolutely. And this raises another point of comparison.
Okay.
The level of support you get.
Right.
With SFN, you have those live interactive classes,
Mm-hmm.
which suggest some level of individual attention,
Okay.
even if the specifics are a bit unclear.
Right.
But with Trainer Winnie,
Yeah.
it seems to be more about providing you with the knowledge.
And then relying on you to implement it yourself.
That's a good observation.
Yeah.
And it also ties into the cost factor, right?
Exactly.
SFN is super affordable, especially with that 99 trial,
Right.
whereas Trainer Winnie is pushing his paid nutrition plans.
Exactly. So it's not just about what they offer, but
Mhm.
how they offer it.
Right.
SFN presents itself as accessible and community-driven,
Okay.
while Trainer Winnie emphasizes a data-driven,
Mm-hmm.
self-guided approach.
So 2 very different paths to potentially the same goal.
Yeah.
This is where things start to get really interesting
For sure.
because it begs the question,
Okay.
which approach is better?
And that's a question we'll explore more
Okay.
in the next part of our dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
But before we get there,
Mm-hmm.
let's take a closer look at those testimonials.
Okay.
Because the way they're presented raises some fascinating questions
All right.
about how we evaluate information online.
Interesting. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
So we've got these SFN testimonials that are full of positive vibes,
Right.
but maybe a little short on hard facts.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Trainer Winnie
Yeah.
with his very structured,
Right.
data-driven
Yes,
approach.
exactly.
Seems like choosing the right path depends a lot on
Yeah.
what kind of person you are
I think so.
and what you're looking for.
It really does.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the pros and cons of each approach.
Yeah.
Starting with SFN and their yoga-centric style.
Right.
One of the biggest benefits of their live interactive classes
Yeah.
is the sense of community and accountability they foster.
Mhm.
You're not just working out alone in your living room.
Right.
You're engaging with a trainer
Okay.
and potentially other participants in real time.
That could be really motivating for some people.
Yeah.
Like having a built-in support system right there with you.
Oh, sure.
Plus, let's not forget that SFN is very affordable,
Right.
especially with that 99 trial.
Yeah.
It's a low-risk way to see if their style is a good fit for you.
That's true, however. The lack of detailed information on their website is still a bit concerning.
I see that.
Without knowing more about the trainer's qualifications or the specific methodology behind their approach.
Okay.
It's hard to judge how effective the program might be beyond those emotionally driven testimonials.
I see what you mean. It's kind of like signing up for a language course
Yeah.
without knowing anything about the teacher's background
Right.
or the teaching methods they use.
Exactly.
You might end up learning a lot, but there's also a chance you won't.
Yeah, you never know.
So,
Now let's shift gears
okay.
and take a closer look at Trainer Winnie.
Right.
His strength lies in his data-driven analytical approach.
Okay.
He really breaks down the science of nutrition
Right.
in a way that's easy to understand.
Yeah.
And empowers you to make informed decisions about what you're eating.
His step-by-step guide to calculating protein intake and building a customized meal plan seems really valuable.
Yeah.
He's not just telling you to eat more protein.
Right.
He's showing you exactly how to figure out how much you need
Exactly.
and how to work it into your diet.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that level of detail can be very appealing for people who like structure
Right.
and knowing exactly what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a trade-off here.
What's that?
Winnie's approach requires a lot of self-motivation
Okay.
and discipline.
Right.
You're responsible for following his guidance,
Mm-hmm.
tracking your progress,
Okay.
and making adjustments along the way.
So it's like having all the tools and instructions
Yeah.
to build a piece of furniture,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to do the actual building yourself.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And this brings us back to that fundamental question.
Okay.
Which approach is better suited for you?
Right.
Are you someone who thrives in a group setting
Mm-hmm.
and needs that extra push
Yeah.
from a trainer and fellow participants?
Okay.
Or do you prefer to go at your own pace, armed with knowledge and a detailed plan?
Those are some really important things to consider.
They are.
It seems like there's no single right answer.
Nope.
It all comes down to understanding yourself,
Yeah.
your personality, your learning style, even your lifestyle.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of self-awareness,
Yeah.
let's take a closer look at those testimonials.
Okay.
Because understanding how they work
Right.
and how they can be used to influence us
Mm-hmm.
is crucial for navigating the world of online information.
Okay.
Not just in the fitness realm,
Right.
but in any area of life.
That's a great point. It's easy to get swept away by those feel-good stories,
yeah.
but we need to develop that critical eye, that ability to look beyond the surface and assess the information objectively.
Exactly. And to do that effectively,
Yeah.
you need to understand some of the common tactics used in crafting compelling testimonials.
Okay.
One thing to look out for is the language used.
All right.
Are they using emotionally charged words or phrases? Are they emphasizing dramatic transformations without giving us much context?
So it's not just about what they're saying,
Right.
but how they're saying it.
Exactly.
We need to pay attention to the tone and the overall message they're trying to convey.
For sure, another thing to consider is the potential for selection bias.
Okay.
Are we only seeing the positive stories while the less successful experiences are being filtered out?
Right.
It's like flipping a coin 5 times and getting heads every time.
Yeah.
It's possible, but statistically unlikely.
So it's important to remember that testimonials represent just a small slice of the overall user experience.
Exactly.
We need to dig deeper and consider the bigger picture.
And sometimes that means looking beyond testimonials altogether.
Okay.
And seeking out more objective sources of information. Things like research studies, articles from reputable sources, and even feedback from a variety of users.
Right.
Not just the glowing reviews.
Yeah. It's about becoming a more savvy consumer of information.
Yeah.
Especially in the online world where everyone is vying for our attention.
Right.
And trying to sell us something.
Precisely. And with that in mind, let's bring Trainer Winnie back into the conversation.
Right.
Because while his approach might seem vastly different from SFN's, the way he presents himself online raises some similar questions about transparency and critical evaluation.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break it down. So we've been talking about SFN and Trainer Winnie and how they both represent different approaches to fitness and nutrition.
Right.
But I'm curious, what are some things to watch out for when we're evaluating fitness influencers like Trainer Winnie?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's easy to be swayed by their charisma and seemingly impressive results.
Yeah, they always look great.
But just like with those SFN testimonials, we need to be discerning consumers of information.
So what are some red flags we should look out for?
Well, one thing to consider is their qualification.
Okay.
Do they have any formal training or certifications in fitness or nutrition? Right. Or are they simply relying on personal experience and anecdotal evidence?
Right, because just because someone looks fit and healthy doesn't necessarily mean they know how to help others achieve the same results.
Another thing to consider is their transparency.
Okay.
Are they upfront about their methods and the science behind their recommendations? Right. Or are they making vague claims and promising quick fixes without explaining how things actually work?
That reminds me of those weight loss ads you see online.
Yes.
That promise you'll drop 10 pounds in a week by just drinking this special tea.
Exactly.
Or wearing this magical slimming belt.
Classic examples of what to avoid.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of things to avoid, let's talk about conflicts of interest.
Right.
Is the influencer promoting specific products or services that they have a financial stake in?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen influencers pushing certain protein powders or supplements, and later you find out they're sponsored by that company.
It's important to be aware of those financial incentives because they can influence the information being presented.
Okay.
And finally, it's always a good idea to check out what other people are saying.
Right.
Are there any negative reviews or criticisms of the influencer's methods?
So it's kind of like doing a background check on the influencer before you take their advice to heart.
Exactly. It's all about being informed.
Right.
And taking responsibility for your own health and well-being.
Now, let's bring this back to our main topic.
Okay.
Simplified fitness and nutrition.
Right.
We've been analyzing SFN's claims, dissecting their testimonials, and comparing them to Trainer Winnie's approach.
Right.
We've even talked about the importance of evaluating information critically and being aware of potential biases.
And through all of this, a recurring theme has emerged, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. What is it?
The idea of personalization.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's becoming clear that there's no one-size-fits-all solution to fitness and nutrition.
Nope.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly.
And the key to finding what works for you is understanding your own individual needs and preferences.
Exactly. Remember that SFN tagline we discussed earlier?
Oh, yeah. We offer only what we master.
Perhaps the most important mastery we can cultivate
is
self-mastery.
That's such a powerful concept.
It is.
So instead of searching for that perfect program or guru to tell us exactly what to do, maybe the real journey begins with looking inward.
Yeah.
And understanding ourselves better.
Precisely. It's about asking yourself, what are my goals? What are my limitations? What motivates me? What kind of support do I need?
And once you have a better understanding of those things, you can start exploring different approaches.
Exactly.
And finding what resonates with you the most.
It might mean incorporating elements from both SFN and Trainer Winnie's methods.
Okay.
Maybe you love the structure and detail of Winnie's meal plans.
Right.
But you also crave the social connection of those live yoga classes.
It's about becoming the architect of your own well-being.
Yeah.
You get to decide what works best for you.
Right.
And you have the power to create a fitness and nutrition plan that fits your lifestyle and supports your overall health goals.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns.
For sure.
But by staying curious, staying informed, and most importantly, staying true to yourself,
yes,
you can navigate the world of fitness and nutrition with confidence and achieve lasting results.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
yeah,
we leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
The power to transform your health and well-being lies within you. Embrace the journey, trust your instincts, and never stop exploring.